for the technical issue. Hello, everyone. Good late afternoon, everybody. How was work today? I hope it was excited for you. It is kind of tired time, but it is okay. We're gonna start our new class, which is the Communication and English class for this breakthrough program. I was honored to be selected as your mentor. It was my privilege to be the mentor for this class because I was like, okay, I think it's gonna be exciting because I'm gonna see my friends again from Altera. All right, this is me, Fatma Janna. You can simply call me Fatma, whom you already know probably. You probably know me as a software developer, but other than that, I'm also a language and culture enthusiast, as mentioned before by Mbak Sandra. And in this class, I would love to have us to learn English together and also communication. And English is just one of the languages that human has. So it's just a tool actually. But if we can speak and learn English together, we are gonna open a lot whole of opportunities. Imagine that you can send your emails perfectly in English. You can speak with your friends, with your colleagues, with your CTO in English. Then you can also ask questions in English with all the kinds of accent that you might have. That is fine because accent is just your identity. It is part of yourself. Don't worry about accent. Don't worry about grammar or anything because the way we communicate is for us to trust each other, to build the relationship, to convey a message. That's how we communicate with each other. And English is just part of the language. And if we can learn English, if we can implement speaking English daily, hopefully, I think it will open a lot of opportunities. It will help you better in your work as well. So let's have fun. All right, then. Let's start with the outline of this session. I'll start with the importance of communication. I'll ask you some questions. Please just unmute yourself and say anything to answer my question. And then we can move on with the where and how to start. This is part where I can suggest you some tools or tips and tricks on where and how you can start learning English, even though you already started learning English, because I can show from the questionnaires that you filled in. Thank you so much for filling in the questionnaire that you already somewhere in English, that you already have the very good fundamental. That's why I can assume that it is very general for us, that it doesn't really matter for anyone, that I believe you guys also can follow along with me, with us, okay? And the next thing we have language learning as a marathon. So we probably already learned English ever since we were in elementary school or in high school. But for kids these days, they probably started in kindergarten or preschool instead because of the time and advancement of technology and everything. But language learning is a marathon. You start somewhere in the past and then you are still doing it until the future. It is a marathon. So have that energy to keep on going with your learning of the language, okay? And then we have a concept of input-output. We have this concept, especially as a software developer. Anywhere you have the function, you have the input, that's the argument, and then you have something to return. Or some function doesn't really have output or return, but we do like the concept of input and output. And we also have that in language learning, especially for English. And we will discuss that further later. And then brace yourself that we will have some assessment, another assessment. And this one is for the presentation. So instead of me keep on talking and talking, the next time we will have our meeting again, it will be you talking with your presentation. So prepare for the presentation. And there is also a bonus by the end of the session, which is another assessment. So brace yourself, okay? All right, let's move on. The importance of communication. I think I have mentioned some of them at the beginning, but I want to hear from you. What do you think is the importance of communication? Or what do you think are the importances of communication? All right, anyone would like to say something? Just unmute yourself and say it. Come on, I know you want to.
think communication needs to share information with others. So yeah, share something like knowledge or make our make same expectation between us and the others.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep, share information, have the same expectation, be on the same page. Yeah. That's why we communicate with others. Okay, that was a great answer. Thank you so much, Mas Crystal. And then next, can we have someone else to say what would be the importance of communication? Come on. Mas Ardi, want to say something? No, come on. Okay, that is a good file. That could be a good answer too. There is also a meaning of communication. It could be a sign that he could be shy or he wanted to say something, but he might be not sure if it's correct or not, but that's okay. We can start from here. Maybe Paris would like to say something.
To make friends.
To make friends. Yeah, we communicate to make friends. What else?
To ask anything or to basically we are a social creature, and so we need to fulfill our social needs. Like in the video game The Sims, we have the social bar, right? And we have to fulfill.
Yeah. We are social creature. We are born to have social connection with others, and that's why we communicate. Thank you so much. Now we have different perspective on why we do communication. Let's go into the business. Why we do communication in business. It is more detailed. It is more specific. In business terms, we communicate to negotiate with people, to inform probably the use of the product, or if there is any issue with the product, or to consult with our manager, there is some issue with our product, how can you help us, something like that. So those are some examples of why we really need to communicate. And here is why English is also can play a good role in terms of communication, because it is the international language and we use it every day. Ever since you see your friends do it, or the caption on Instagram, or anything that you see. For example, you Google how to convert string to integer in Java, and then it is there, the Stack Overflow. Everything is in English, right? And if you instead use Indonesian as keywords, probably the results are there, but it is limited results. If you compare it to using English, you will have more and more results in Google, because it is the international language that people use everywhere. So communication and English are very important, and that's why you are here to learn with us. Okay? All right. And when we communicate, we probably focus on what we say instead of other things that really happen. If you see in this picture, can you guess like what could be the second person from the left saying? Like, what is she saying? Can you guess what she's saying, Paris?
I don't know. The second one from the left?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Okay. Let me give you an example. I think the second person saying, "Oh, you're wearing a new makeup. Looks nice. Are you gonna attract my boyfriend?" Oh, no way, girl. Because she looks kind of evil. Like she's smiling, but her eye looks kind of evil. But that's my interpretation. But in terms of communication, we also read some signals from facial expression, from gesture, like what I do. And therefore, during the COVID-19 situation, it is kind of hard for us to communicate with each other, especially when it is the real life situation. Sometimes you just don't hear what people say. Sometimes you just don't really understand what they are saying, even though you hear it. Why? Because you can't really see their facial expression. It can reduce the efficiency of your communication by 50%, just because you don't see what they're what they have on their face. That's why it is also part of communication. If it's something really important, I think it will be better if you can just have a call and a video with that person so that you can have a more connection with that person and you can express that issue or anything, any idea that you have. That's why it's important to really include these things such as facial expression, gesture, and body language. Like we can see from the smile, we can see from eye expression of someone when there is something happening. Even when they don't say anything, you can read when someone is happy, when someone is not happy, when someone is angry. Like, why is this people doing like this? Even without them saying it, like in the cinema, Cinetron, they don't say anything, but their facial expression says something bad probably, but hopefully not. Okay, so this is the importance of communication. All right, let's move on to the next one. Since we already learned how important it is for us to communicate with each other, what are the importance of communication, let's prepare ourselves how we can communicate better, especially in English. Since we know that English is an international language and we can open a lot of opportunities when we can master or at least learn English better. Okay, so where we can start, of course, you can always start from the internet. You can just Google anything that you want. It's always there, but can you find the right keywords to find what it is that you are looking for? Okay, before looking for something, probably set a goal, set something that you want to achieve. For example, I want to speak with my CTO about some issue. What should I do? All right, then look for in the internet about negotiation or about how to express your ideas. And then you can also look for some books. If you still read some books, there are also some ebooks that you can choose from. You can use your Kindle or e-reader if you don't want to spend some money on papers instead. And if you feel like, oh, I'm someone who would like to keep the environment, so that's why I don't buy paper books anymore, I'm just gonna get the ebooks instead. You can do that as well. And make sure that anything that you get are in English. For example, the one in the internet and also the one that you got on books. Or you can also start from community. How can I get some community where I can learn English better, where I can communicate in English? Because in my daily job, I use Indonesian, but I really want to speak and learn English better. How can I find this community? Oh, well, you can join Toastmasters, for example, because there is the community. It is an international program where we gather and then we learn how to become a public speaker, how to become a leader. And then in Toastmasters, we learn everything in English. And then also by joining community, it's not only Toastmasters. You can also join the Python International or Golang International, where you can have an open source pull request and then discuss with them everything in English. And then realize that how important it is for you to be able to improve your English skills. Okay? And then you can also start, since you already know where to start, you can also start from something that really, really interests you. Because when it is something that interests you, you are familiar with the things. You are familiar with the jargons, you are familiar with the terms and everything. For example, oh, you know API, you know Python, you know the class, you know the current API, the latest API that they have. Since you know that everything around you is about programming and coding, so start from coding, start from programming. Find a book or an internet, a blog post, YouTube, for example, that discuss about things but in English. Or you can also try to rewatch something. You can also go to movies or cinema that you have watched before but in your language, but then this time around watch it in English. If you feel like, oh, I cannot really hear what they say, then You can turn on the subtitle, but make sure that the subtitle is in English. So instead of only listening to what they say, you can also read what they say. So it's both listening and reading. And why is it that it needs to be something that you have interest in? Because you are familiar with it, you can get the context better, and then you can follow along better. And then if you are already having that habit on having everything in English, such as podcasts or any caption that you have on Instagram or anything, or any discussion on Telegram, that everything is in English, then you can move on to any other topic that you're not really familiar with, also in English. For example, oh, I'm not really familiar with politics, but I think I'm already good enough with listening to podcasts in software development, for example. Maybe I want to try to listen to some news or about politics that is also in English, so that I can get to know better about different jargons, different terms that the world has out there, for example. So that's where and how you can start to continue your language learning, especially in English, okay? And then from there, you can also start with something that is on your level. That's why I gave you the questionnaire for you to fill in so that you know where you are currently, and then have anything that is in your level. But it also has a hint or some example that is a level above that. For example, you are now in B1 level. So have the conversation or English practices on internet that is on B1, but also try to pick on the B2 level, B2-1 level, so that you can know, oh, I would like to prepare to level up my game. I don't want to be in B1 all the time. I want to be in B2 also. And that's how you can do that. Okay. So for example, if you feel like, oh, I think I'm still in A2 level, for example, probably I can grab thin books or children books that has pictures on it, that has more illustrations on it. And then from there, if you feel like you're familiar, this is too easy, then you can move on to the next level one, to the adult books, for example. So know your level, know where you are, and then from there, you can start to continue. And please make sure that you continue, because this is a journey of you to keep on improving your English and communication. All right. I think we can move on to the language learning is a marathon. I mentioned before that you already started somewhere, either in elementary school or in high school. You started anyway that you had before, of how you first learned about English, of how you first acquired English and start to read things in English, listen to things in English, and also start to speak English. And I think you already did a great job in your journey. I hope that you can continue and you can leverage your skills and everything in this program as well, because later you will present your own presentation, probably for the first time, fully in English, okay? And why is it a marathon? Because it is something that you started before, but then it is a continuation. And always have practice. Practice makes better, and you need to do it little and often. Doesn't matter how little it is or how much it is every day, but make sure that you always have acquired any amount of English every day. Make it often. If you want to make it organized, set a goal and then have like, all right, 15 minutes for Duolingo today in English, or 15 minutes of podcast in English for today. So you have your goals. But I think even without you setting a goal and not organizing everything, you are already exposing yourself to English, because you open your social media, everything is in English. And then you open Stack Overflow and everything is in English. And like, for example, your manager wants you to select a new technology and learn about that technology. The documentation is in English, right? So everything is in English. And then also in your job, that you have the documentation. Someone else already wrote that documentation on the README file. It is in English, and then you can continue. Okay, the latest version, this is also what we did, and this is the update. It is in English, probably. But even the language, the programming language that you use, it is in English. You are talking to the computer in English. So English is part of your life already. It's just how you want to leverage everything. You want to empower what you have so that you can amplify your skills so that you can have better goals, better results at the near future. Okay? So make sure that you always acquire English little and often, because that will be required for you to improve your communication. And then I have some suggested learning tools. I didn't put it in the end, but at the middle, because I think this is where I can suggest you about how you can acquire more and more about English and the communication. And then I started with something about learning how to learn. These topics are actually efficient, or you can use this to any kinds of things that you want to learn. For example, oh, I want to learn a new technology in Flutter. I want to learn a new technology in JavaScript, for example. And then I want to learn it by implementing the things that I learned from these things that I had. First one is to unleash your super brain to learn faster. That's from Jim Quick. It is a link to YouTube video of Jim Quick talking about this topic, and you can watch it later. And the next one is the powerful mental tools to help you master tough subjects. This one is a course in Coursera, and I tried this probably a long time ago, and it is really nice because here you can learn how you can portion your learning into small chunks and have it little and often, just like what I said. So instead of having 5 hours learning on Saturday or Sunday only, you should be able to do it 1 hour a day. For example, 1 hour on Monday, 1 hour Tuesday, and so on until you have in total 5 hours that week. And then why also it is important to make it small chunk and to distribute it over the time, because the way you sleep, the way you eat, the way you exercise, it will also enhance your memory. It will also enhance your learning so that you can learn better instead of having all the things and cram it into only one time. And you can learn it from there. And then the next one is about immersive language learning. I think Altera Academy has that immersive program in Golang, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in terms of language learning, we also have that idea of having immersive language learnings where you can have anything in English. So for example, you can go overseas and then just not speaking Indonesian anymore, where you have to speak English every day, every time. But that is not possible for now, probably because of the pandemic. So how can we do it? How can we have the immersive learning by just staying at home? We can. For example, do you like to plan your day in the morning? How do you do that? You list out the things that you want to do, right? Instead of writing them down in Indonesian, why not start writing the things that you want to say, that you want to do in English? And then you can also prepare things or learn things, anything that you want to do in English. So anything that just come out in your life, just make it in English so that you can have immersive in your own style. All right. And then I also have some TED Talks that you can watch. They are really interesting about language learning. And from all these TED Talks that I watch, I think one of the most important thing about language learning is to make fun, to have fun, to make fun of the process, to always be willing to, oh, I want to learn more and more, to have that craving of, this is not enough, I want to be better and better. That's how you can have, if you feel like language learning is fun. If you don't feel like it is fun, then you don't have the feeling to continue, right? So find a way where you think, oh, language learning is fun. Why don't I continue since a few years ago? then find that method that you think is fun, that you can enjoy, then continue from there. Okay, because there are a lot of methods that you can try. Okay, let's move on to the next one, the input and output process. In the input, we have the reading and listening. This is where you acquire things in English. You read stuff or you listen to things in English. That's where your brain can absorb anything that is in English. And then you have your output. That's where you write or speak things in English. Okay? And in terms of input and output, I don't really mention grammar because that should be in every part of it. But you shouldn't worry so much about grammar because when you learn about context, you can learn it by the time as well. So it should be integration of grammar and other things. It should be reading, listening, writing, and speaking that you will acquire your grammar skills as well. And then in the input and output process, if you can improve your input, I believe that you can improve your output as well. But if you feel like, oh, I have already acquired things for the input process, but why my output is still not really good? Well, that's probably because you don't speak much in English. That's probably because you don't write things in English. That's probably why, because you don't communicate with each other in English. So how can I improve my output as well so that I can communicate better in English? Yep, let's have an immersive situation. Let's find your community. Let's find your friends where you can speak and write things in English very comfortably without worrying that you make mistakes, without worrying that, oh, I don't feel like I can do this. Okay. All right. Let's give me some example where you can do reading, listening, or one of them in the professional settings. Maybe Mas Christo would like to share.
What? I want to share what?
Yeah, how do you have your input output or reading, listening, writing, or speaking in the professional settings?
In professional settings, right? Okay, reading. Actually, I read a lot of English. Something like article, usually article about software engineer, mostly in English. Actually, there is a lot of article in Medium, and like in other place like dev.to or other sources. I listen in English sometimes by watching YouTube, like conferences, something like conferences and movies. Sometimes I try to hear what the people or the actor said in the movies actually. And for the output one about writing and speaking, I'm luckily I communicate sometimes with the CTO, so I read and I speak with him actually. Read regularly and speak at least once a week with him.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, you use English every day, the input-output process, and I hope that you can keep on improving your English in the input and output process because you know where you are and you know how you can use it.
Guys, please ask her some question. Anything.
Yep.
Related to the assessment, related to her experience, maybe how she can be that good in English, like your Indonesian way is so good, or everything.
Just maybe I want to add something.
Yep, go ahead.
If you actually, when someone understand English very well, actually my English quite sucks.
Okay.
Just don't be shy and have fun.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Well, I think it's normal for you to have that feeling that I can't do it or I'm not good enough. Even I sometimes feel that during work almost every day, but that's totally normal. It can happen to anyone. It's not only your problem. But the thing is, if you feel that feeling all the time in your mind, it's only in your mind. If you just have the courage, just a little courage, to go out there to approach people and start speaking English, just don't care about grammar or any mistakes that you could have, then by the time you realize, oh, I can speak English. I don't care about how scared I was before or how much mistakes that I have made. Before making the mistakes, you don't know that you make the mistakes, right? If you don't try, you will not know. Just like what Mas Christo said, it doesn't matter how good people are talking in English. It is you. You want to learn. You want to improve so that you can connect better with people. You can acquire more information from others. So yeah, continue learning.
Yeah. So in case in the future you want to shift a job, you can be a YouTuber. You already like,
Yeah.
hi guys. Hi guys, Christo here. Yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's like, yeah, just be confident like YouTuber, you know. They don't care about like people, you know. Yeah, just be confident and have fun, because no one can, you know, for us, English is not our mother language. So it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be like a bit ridiculous when you're saying something. It is fine, because it's normal.
It is normal. Totally.
It is normal.
Yeah. Even the native speakers, they really appreciate people when they talk, when they speak, especially when they have their own accent, because it's usually sexy or like unique, different kinds of experience when you hear people speaking with Indian accent or Chinese accent or any kinds of accent, or people with French accent, and then they just speak English like, is this really English? I think it is English, but I'm not sure. It is a really nice experience, because then you can get exposure to talk or to communicate with people from different culture, from different background, so that you know how to differentiate people. Oh, I have this experience when I was studying in Malaysia for my undergraduate study, and because most of my friends were international, they came from different countries, and I was exposed to people from different countries with different accent as well. So after that, when someone was speaking, I was like, are you Iranian? Are you Indian? Are you from Pakistan? Like, yeah, how do you know? Oh, I got some friends from Iran, or I got some friends from Pakistan. That's how I get to know people, from their accent, even though they speak English. So it's really, really nice if you can continue your learning journey in English. Remember, it is a marathon, and just continue. Don't bother that you feel hesitant. Don't bother that you will make mistakes, because it is the process of learning. Okay? All right. Can we have any other questions?
So let's take Japanese accent to the next level, yeah, guys. Okay, any question?
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Maybe I try to ask, wait, let me think. Okay, maybe this is not my question about this presentation, but I want to know about your experience in a multinational company. So the point is, maybe your experience in multinational company can be our motivation to learn English and something more like that. Okay.
Okay. That's a nice question. Okay, my experience working at a multinational company, I think it's really, really fun. It's enjoyable for me, but the job itself is demanding. Well, software developer, but the culture and the way we speak to each other, the way that my friends from Ukraine have different accent, my friends from the Netherlands have different accent, we somehow can still collaborate. We somehow can still have some laugh and chit chat and some little joke, which I don't really think that they are funny, but some funny. But it is really nice experience, because I think English is really opening a lot of opportunities, and one of them can be that you can work in a multinational company. But then again, it is one of the experience. You can have it anywhere. For example, now that we have pandemic that everyone is working from home, I guess the idea of remote work is really possible. I think it's been there since a few years ago, but English itself opening a lot of opportunity, right? And yeah, the experience is really nice. We discuss a lot of things on Slack. I mean, like Slack is the the hub or where we discuss everything in terms of text, but we still have daily stand up every day, which is like afternoon in my local time and then in the morning in their local time because they are somewhere in Europe. And we also have some other people working in the US, so like they're working and it is already at night in Indonesia, something like that. So it is different experience, and we have issues about different time zone. We had issues about daylight saving. Oh, my algorithm doesn't work because we had the daylight saving and stuff. Yeah, it is interesting. So make that a goal, a motivation if you want to, right? I want to work in a multinational company so that I should be able to speak English, right? Yeah.